A lot of people stay in a relationship longer even when the relationship is dead. They fail to acknowledge it or they believe that someday it will come around. But there are some signs you constantly see telling you that this relationship is far gone, but you're just basking on the hope that one day something would turn around and life would get back to how it used to be. You no longer live for the future. All you have to hold on to is the memories this relationship brings you. And sometimes people feel like they need to impress people. If your relationship has always been the talk of town and people tell you, oh, you're such a wonderful and amazing couple, and things begin to go wrong in this relationship, which you know things are going wrong, but then you feel you might not find someone to fit into this person's shoes. You feel you might not find someone so perfect for you that you constantly hold on to things that are dead. It's just like holding on to a dead corpse, hoping that it will one day breathe air. But before this, there are signs and things you constantly see. A lot of people don't want to admit it. A lot of people are too blinded to it. A lot of people are just hanging up to the positivity in their mindset, hoping that they've seen worse days and things could always come around. If you find yourself in any of this situation, I'll be listening. Just know that you're partially in a relationship or you're completely alone in that relationship. When you find yourself in a relationship where there is no commitment, there is no dedication, there is no mutual respect, there is no affection from either party, or the affection is one sided, then you should know that something is wrong. I'll be giving you a couple of signs that you must have seen, or probably you fail to ignore, or you fail to notice, or you ignore them, hoping that it doesn't turn out to be what you fear it should. It is better to be in a relationship that helps you grow, like everybody would. But at the same time, it's also better not to be in a relationship than to be in a relationship that is emotionally draining, emotionally empty. A relationship where you feel empty rather than being with a company. A relationship where you feel heard but not listened to. A relationship where you just feel emotionally invested, but the investment has no returns. What am I talking about? When you find yourself in a position where the commitment, affection, love, and emotional gratification is coming from just one person, and the other person seems to be on the receiving end and offers nothing to help motivate or give as a nutrient to that relationship, then you should know that you're just alone in that relationship. I'll be giving you a couple of signs you should look out for that tells you that that relationship is completely dead. And one of the signs is emptiness. The moment you start feeling empty in a relationship, the moment you start feeling like you're no longer a companion, your partner is no longer a companion to you, rather, they are just a figurehead or just somebody to qualify as a partner. But you no longer have the need, you no longer feel that vibe, you no longer feel the need to associate because of their constant distance and their constant, you know, reaction towards your affection. They don't reciprocate. You don't return your calls as at when due. They return your messages at their own timing. Nothing seems to push them or prompt them to give you that needed attention. And it seems like you're chasing to get their attention. When you find yourself in situations like this, you should know that something is terribly wrong. Another sign is when your happiness no longer mean anything to them. They are so contented in seeing you go through pain. Imagine I've been in a relationship and the little things like, when you fall sick, you're stressed, they show so much concern. But at some point in the relationship, they no longer feel the need to nurse your pain, to make you to help you feel better. Your pain no longer matters to them. Emotionally, they are gone. Another thing you should notice in a relationship that is completely destroyed is when they no longer feel the need to make you happy. They feel it's more like a duty. It's overbearing to them to make you feel happy. I always tell you, when you start begging for basic things in a relationship, then you should know that something is wrong. You start begging for attention, affection, love, care, commitment. When you constantly have to seek or constantly have to persuade people to see how much invested you are emotionally into that affairs that you both share, then you should question that relationship, because a true relationship, you shouldn't be begging for affection. It should be a mutual thing, because these are two people coming together for a common goal. You love yourself, you feel something great between yourself. You just want to see the other person happy. But when all these things are no longer visible in a relationship, then something is wrong. Another thing you should look out for in a relationship that is far gone is the fact the relationship become mentally exhausting. That reply, the attention, the messages, the way they respond to things, they no longer treat your issues with concern or with genuine speed. You tell them about things, and the emotional investment seems to be of a very low interest, then you should know that something is wrong in that relationship. Another sign you should look out for is they only show effort when they notice you're about to pull out. Picture this. A lot of signs begin to set in, and you just feel like, I think it's you've had enough, and you decide to withdraw. That's when they begin to show effort. When you notice things like this, just know that it is temporary if they are not genuine. They notice your withdrawal. That's when they try to put in some effort, and they come up with flimsy excuse. Another sign you should look out for is disrespect. When there's constant disrespect in a relationship, tantrums and public, confrontation. Because a mature couple and a couple in love would not want to embarrass themselves. But when a partner is comfortable, confronting you and disrespecting you, even in the public space, then you should know that something is wrong. Another sign you should look out for in issues like this are you feel emotionally drained. You no longer feel like, you are with someone. You feel empty. There's this emptiness within you. Conversation no longer strike you. You're wholly holding on to memories. And these are the memories of the good times you've had with this person. That's the only thing that keeps you. You hold on to potential, the potentials that things would change in the future, the potentials that things will turn around. And the only thing that gives a spike in this relationship are the good times you've shared, the past memories and stuff like that. When you feel or find yourself in situations like this, it's questionable, because true love is, I'm not saying there aren't going to be rift, disagreement. Of course, your partner would hurt you, but when the hurt is constant and is even more in terms of percentage compared to the happiness they bring, then you should question such relationship. Then you should know your footings and your bearings and how to go about it in order for you not to be overly emotionally destroyed. Another signs you should look out for in things like this is emotional connectivity is gone. They still reply to your text, they still, give you listening ear, but that emotional connectivity is gone. When you find yourself in situations like this, just know that that relationship is completely gone. My name is Don Simple, and I give out real relationship advice. No bullshit. This message is touchy. Do well to give me a like or a follow, and so that messages like this will pop up your screen. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to fight for love, because real love is genuine. Real love is truthfulness. Real love is commitment. Real love is emotional investment, tolerance, patience, and happiness. If any of this is void in your relationship, then you should do well by checking it out. It is better to stay single and emotionally balanced until your real love finds you than to be invested in a relationship that will take your time, energy, and drain you emotionally. I remain yours, done simple. Peace.